1, 2.
Give me a lifetime of promises and a world of dreams.
All right.
Speak the language of love.
All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Your good evening is hungry. It is thirsty. I'm sure you've had some meal and some water. One more time, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Are you happy to be here? Are you ready to celebrate? Turn to the person seated next to you. Tell them dancing. Just tell them dancing, celebrating, eating, dining. Those are heavy words, right? So those are some of the things we'll be doing this evening. We want to focus on celebrating today. It's been a decade of beautiful things, and as we cross over, we are celebrating something amazing that has happened at IBP Kenya, all right? So I know probably you're thinking about many things happening in our country. Let's take a pause, all right, on some of those things, and let's focus on something a bit more interesting and celebratory today. So karibuni sana. My name is Anthony Ndiema. I will be your MC today, and I'm sure we are going to have a great time, all right? So before we start officially, I want us to play a small game, all right? Are you ready for that? So don't worry where you're seated. I want you to move to a table where that table has at least 6 people, at least 6 people. Then you will come back to where you belong, all right? So we need one more person in this. Brother, just come, join. Don't worry about this table. It has amazing human beings. You are one of them as well, all right? So at least 6 people in a table. I want us to play a very interesting game, all right? This table has 2 people. They have decided they will not move, so we'll move them by force, So the 2 of you kindly join a table, and you will come back in a few minutes, after a few minutes, so that we can get to enjoy our celebration today. We are celebrating over a decade of budget advocacy, and that's a good thing, all right? So I want you to stand up. Please stand up. And I want you to identify something very unique in one of the people, actually in almost everyone around your table. Something very unique about them. Something that no one else will be able to identify it. So it has to be very, very unique, all right? Because that, wow. I'm sure you're checking out. Some of you are scanning to the brain. You can't get there. Take it easy, all right? So I want us to do a game that will help us know each other. It's called I Love My Neighbor. Say, I love my neighbor. All right, so these are the instructions, very simple. So one of you will volunteer to start. For example, I will start, say I start. So I'll say, my name is Anthony. And then the rest of the members around the table will say, Anthony, do you love your neighbor? Then Anthony will say, I love my neighbor, but I don't like people who put on red ties. So the person who has a red tie will then say, my name is Abraham. And then what will you say? Abraham, do you love your neighbor? And then Abraham will say, I love my neighbor, but I don't like people who put on velvet shoes. And then the person with the velvet shoes, all right? Are we together? Up to that point, let's do a dry run, all right? So let's try, just on the separate tables. Take one volunteer. Let's have one volunteer. Okay, he will start. Are you ready? In 3, 2, 1, the volunteer. Let's start. Just talk amongst yourselves. It's amongst yourselves. I don't want to get to see the conversation. Are we getting the drill? Are we getting it? All right. The guys online also, we need to do something with you. Internally, are you good? Even as Albert, help us with the guys online, so we put them in groups, we get to know each other as well. The guys online as well. But those who are already in-house, are we good to go now? Online, we should be good in a moment, all right? So we're taking 3 minutes to do this game. I want you to know the people around you and their characteristics and that unique thing about them, all right? So in 3, 2, let's go. Same game. It was a tries X, so now this is the real game. Let's go. For those who are online, please, you can also join the game if you're able to. Albert, I hope you're good online. Oh, okay, all right. You guys are done? All right, looks like you guys are done, Senior. Do you please just one more round? I want you to say all the names of the person seated next to you. All the names. If you don't say the names, then you have missed the test. Yeah, I hope you know them by now, Senior. All right. Great. All right, lovely. I want us to remain upstanding. We want to do the national anthem so that we get to begin officially. Before we do that, we have washrooms. Just walk straight along the corridor. On your right, we have washrooms right there. We also have two amazing ladies, Sylvia and Lillian, who are also helping us with sign language interpretation, both for those who are here as well as those who are online. We want to invite those who are online, karibuni sana. We will make sure that you don't miss out in the fun that is happening in this room, so we will walk this journey together, all right? We're ready for the national anthem? Let's do this. We'll start with the Kenyan national anthem. will remain upstanding as we sing the East African anthem. Thank you very much. You can have your seats. Turn to your neighbor, tell them Kiswahili kitukuzwe. There's one methali in Swahili that says, asiyefunzwa na mamae, hufunzwa na mamawe. That's the new version of the methali. So it's good to celebrate Swahili as well. At this point, I want to invite Mokeira Nyagaka together with Abraham Ocheng, who will do the opening remarks. Let's put a round of applause as we welcome Mokeira together with Abraham. Karibuni sana. Tuwapigie makofi tafadhali as they come to share with us. Karibu sana.
Good evening, everyone. It's really good to see you all. And for also our online guests, we're really honored to have you here. We only have 10 minutes to make some very brief remarks. And as we start with this, with our remarks, I think I met Mokeira a long time ago. And so we'll be sharing some of the highlights of what it has been since we met through IBP back in the day. And my honor is just to invite her to share a lot more about the experience. And we have some aids that will be projected on the screens, so you can follow through there. This, we promise you, is not supposed to embarrass anyone, but we hope that you'll enjoy it. So Mokeira, karibu, and Albert, if you can help out with the presentation up.
Oh, I can raise mine. I'm not sure why they selected me for the opening remarks. I think they know I don't know how to speak in 10 minutes. I have not perfected brevity. But yeah, if you hear your name or you suspect we are talking about you in this short speech, I request that you stand and identify yourself. You don't have to say anything, just stand. If you see yourself in these photos or you think we are talking about you, please just stand. Does this work? Let's see. What? It says effects. Is that a... Can I have the thing that controls the PowerPoint? Okay, let's just start. So, this is a story about where it all began. I wasn't there at the very, very beginning, but what I know, once upon a time, a farmer met with a baker, and they decided they could change Kenyans. Yes, the whole of it. That was their plan. That is the baker's merchandise. I couldn't get his photo while baking, but you learn who the baker is. So yeah, they came together and they had big ideas, really big ideas. John was thinking about those ideas. And yeah, they thought they could help people understand a few things. And just reflecting on the period that IBP Kenya started, the three big ideas I remember, one was to help people understand the concurrency of the budget, right? Is it possible that we help Kenyans appreciate that at any specific time, there are at least two decisions being made about their money? That was a very big idea. So the mission is that we must show everyone the mosquito coil. I'm so glad this is here. It makes my work easier. The second one was to work with both citizens and governments and to be grounded locally but still globally related. Anyway, the mission was then to remain true to those Kenyans, but also provide for opportunities at a global scale. So there we go, the big idea, the mosquito coil. This mosquito coil, by the way, was, at the time, we were not very good at infographics. We were dealing with the big stuff. So, and certain intern from Austria came and saw how this farmer and the baker desperately needed to explain to Kenyans that they need to participate at different stages of the budget. Of course, later on, we discovered that our biggest problem was the yellow bits. That's the budget implementation. There was very little work being done during budget implementation. So yeah, the coil, we got poster boys for it. I wish I had let's go to the next one. We got poster boys for it. At the top there is Team Keep. That's what I call him. It was in Eldoret. And I don't know what Jason is doing, but he's doing his best to tell people that this is it, guys. You have to learn about budget decisions. Don't worry about it. You'll all get the mosquito coil. At least that was the Kenya interpretation of this thing. So then the second idea was on being locally grounded, but globally reaching. And something about this organization is that there are people deep in Busia who know about budgets, but there are also people outside Kenya who know what IBP Kenya has been doing. So then, I want people to raise their hands here. Raise your hand. Oh yeah, that's what? Yeah, we used to do things under trees. We still do things under tree. And I remember one time in Baringo, we were sitting under a tree, and there was a snake on the tree, and the locals told us to relax, they coexist peacefully. And so then we sat through that meeting. It was like halfway, and we had to finish half the meeting with a snake on a tree. We have done many of those. We did many of those. Such good times. So anyway, I want you to raise your hand if you know any of the following terms. Term number 1, budget hubs. Good job. Term number 2, budget facilitators. Term number 3, budget champions. But wait. Stand if you know the difference. Stand if you know the difference.
My Lord, I wonder.
Those are the people doing a lot of work on budget advocacy in this country. Please applaud them. Yes, and I did get a photo of some of them. It's right there. This one is a good one. It's not of the farmer. It's a good photo. Even the farmer here is well dressed. Next, please. Sorry. Technology. We're so proud of you, all of you, the ones who stood. But let me tell you guys, you think you know budget facilitators. These were the original guys. Abraham Ochieng, who's not there. Abraham, please stand. Where's Muraguri? This is Muraguri before he started playing golf. There's Marianne behind there. Is Kip in this meeting? I wish he was here. These were the original budget facilitators. We used to do MOOCs in Timau Plaza. Oh dear. And it was just the most amazing time because we used to go and practice how we are going to change the world. The same model now was what the budget facilitators went through, but they were such good times. We said we are locally grounded, but also with a global reach. And there is John. John has 2 suits. Maybe he's acquired one. Since I left IBP, I think the one he's wearing is the 3rd one. And this is him in Norway. Well done, John. And John is giving a reflection there that when he thinks about the time at IBP, at impact level, I have really appreciated that even with our international name, we got accepted by communities at the lowest level of engagement deep in rural Kenya and still got acknowledgement of that work in spaces that inform global norms like the annual health financing platforms. We are so local and so international. Yeah, John talks like that when he's not writing briefs. And yeah, well done. The second thing is our realization, and I got this from talking to Jason. The third thing, right, is that when IBP started its work here, IBP Global hadn't done a lot with governments. It was focusing on partnerships with civil society organizations. And those days, we really believed we were going to change Kenya. And one of the sites of our change was Taita Taveta. It was a very difficult site. Isabella, who's here, can attest to it. In Taita Taveta, but there were those days, we didn't care who you were. We didn't care if you were a governor. That's why you're seeing that governor guy. He's being told to speak sense to people. He's trying to do his best. IBP did not, this is Jason saying, IBP did not historically, Jason, I've mentioned your name, stand up. IBP did not historically work with governments, but I think this was an exciting time when we realized we had a role to play with both sides. And we were invited into a wide range of spaces to support improved budget processes. Those days we had heads of budgets coming together. The space, the intellectual energy was just amazing. Having people who can actually make a difference in the room. And Taita still remains a very difficult site. Is this online? First, because Isabella, you can meet Isabella after and ask her, but also my mother-in-law is from Taita. And yeah, so I have double challenge with Taita. And there you are, Rugo. Wait, not Rugo, Abraham and Abraham. We actually had two Abrahams. Both of them are amazing cyclists. Abraham did provide my son's first bicycle, and he also goes to the Senate. Yeah. Well done, well done. They have carried on to work with governments and really push for change where it is. So those were the three big things: concurrency of budgets, working with local Kenyans, what are local Kenyans? Working with Kenyans and reaching globally. And then we built friendships. We built very good friendships. If you can move to the next slide, you will see some of the photos of our friendship. Just put all of them. We have gone for hikes together. The person at the corner, the right, that's me. The photo is not magnified. I just had my first baby. And I don't know why we were trying to wear banners. We were so excited about the branding of Equity Week. The photo below there is, remind me, it's at, it's just before my Mayo. What is it called? The forest. Yes, we had gone for a hike. And the guy who's at the corner is my husband carrying my child on the back. Because it was really deep. We had to go really far down. This is us in Washington. We suffered cold lunches while in Washington. I don't understand the concept very well of salads and things like that. But our friend Vivian could not be here, and my eyes are have also become a bit old, so I can't read that. But Vivian Magero was talking about lasting friendships from this organization. And the last one is from, we went to see ostriches together. Yeah, that's what we were doing. I'm sure you guys don't remember. And in this photo, we have our spouses, our friends. Josephine came with her nieces. It was such a lovely time. Kip, who's also a farmer, a tea farmer, had just joined us, and it was just an exciting time to launch the county budget transparency survey with a fresh, outlook. And Ntinyari says, she couldn't be here, but she says, our time together represents the challenges and rewards of growth. The journey was never easy, but it was always worth it. The right company makes a difference. Thank you, Vivian, and thank you, everyone, for building together.
All right, we can do better. Let's appreciate Mokeira. If you have a neighbor who feels comfortable in their skin, they are not jealous, they are happy, and they love what Mokeira has done, let them appreciate her one more time. Thank you very much, Mokeira, for sharing that beautiful story and journey, all right? I want us to move into another session where we want to jog our minds about IBP, all right? By the time we are leaving this room, IBP will be packed and it will be somewhere else, and we'll be talking a different language. So today, we want to say everything about IBP Kenya, all right? But right about now, I want to tell you a story, all right? How many of us did 844 as an education system? Remember we used to say, hadithi hadithi, paukwa, sahani, giza, Ya nani? Baiskeli. Kiboko. Na maziwa je? Ya watoto wa Nyayo. You guys are old. Jipigieni makofi. So I want to tell you a story, a very brief story, as we jog our minds, all right? So this is what we'll do. When I mention the word one, you lift up your right index finger, all right? Are we together? So one, you do what? Right index finger. Those who are at home, please, you can also join us as we do this, or wherever you are online. When I say two, you will lift your left hand like this, and you'll put it on top of your neighbor's right index finger. Is that clear? So like this. So let's try. 1, 2. Yes, on top of the index finger. When I say 3, make sure you grab the finger, but make sure no one grabs your finger, right? So you have to coordinate very well. Make sure you grab someone's finger, but make sure they don't grab yours, all right? So are we good? So in my story, when I mention 1, 2, 3, you grab it, all right? We'll want to see those who are aggressive, stubborn, those who push it too far. All right, so let's do a trizex. One day, I was walking towards the CBD in Nairobi. I met 2 boys. They kept walking, and walking. Then another one joined us. You're stealing. So another one joined us. And how many of us were there? Many of us. Then more kept coming and joining. All right, so we know the drill. Please don't cheat, all right? Do not cheat. Let's do this. So one day, I was walking to the city, to the CBD, and then I met this one amazing gentleman. He had 2 other friends that were walking with him. And so I asked him, where are you going? He said, we are going to visit Parliament, the Parliament of Kenya. So we kept going and going. Before long, we were 4 of us, and 6 of us, and 8 of us, and 9 of us. And before we even realized, we were 32, and 43 of us. Guys, you missed it. All right, one more time. As we were, so one person, so 1 of us, we became 2 of us, we go to 33 of us. You missed it again. Appreciate yourselves, all right? Thank you very much. So we want to go online. I want you to take your phones out. We want to do a small quiz. So type menti.com. Menti.com. We can project that, menti.com. We want to ask ourselves a few questions. It will bring for you a place where you need to input a code. So we'll be highlighting that in just a bit. I'm sure you have used Menti before, Cindy. Yes, so we just need to get the code right there. Once we have the code, a good one. All right, so are you able to see the code there? All right, someone read for me. Who has a very strong 36970506. All right, so that's the code. And we are starting with question number 1, so you can get to respond. There's also a code there you can scan on it, even for those who are joining us online. You can also scan. So the first question, when did IBP Kenya first start its work in Kenya? When did IBP first start its work in Kenya? That's IBP Kenya. All right, responses. 2014 have, some of you are withdrawing. Please Don't succumb to peer pressure. Believe in your answer, right? So 2014 has 20. Wow, 10. It keeps going. All right? Great. So we have 25. The majority is 25. We have 13. It means people are not really agreeing on this. So we need to find exactly when this began. So this is what we'll do. I want to invite a gentleman who's a development partner who will join us to answer this question. But as he answers this question, he also has a question that he needs to answer. So let's put our hands together as we invite Joseph Kimani Njuguna from the Royal Danish Embassy. Tumpigie makofi tafadhali. Yes, karibu sana, Joseph. All right. So Joseph will answer that question. And as you answer that question, there's another question for you. What was that magic moment that made you realize you needed to work with IBP Kenya and support their work?
Thank you very much, and good evening, everyone. So my response to that question is 2014. I hope I'm correct. And in answer to the question, that magical moment that we realized that we needed to work with IBP, it's about the people, the people, the people. A great team. And work is always done by the people. There are other people that have done budget work before, but there's something special about this great team. And as you have seen in those photos and from the story that you've heard, we just feel very comfortable with IBP Kenya. All
right, let's appreciate Joseph. Thank you very much. So your answer was 14.
Yes.
He hopes he was right. Was he right? Was he right? The majority wins, eh? All right, we'll find out if he was right. Question number two. Kindly, if you can project question number 2. These are questions that just jog our mind on. All right, question number 2. How many counties does IBP Kenya work in? All right. Is it 47? Is it 36? Is it 15? Is it 5? Okay, it keeps going. 47 has a majority. 16, 21, 11. It's not unanimous, this one as well. Senor. All right, let's keep engaging. Also, for those who are watching us online, you can also get to engage. That's menti.com. And as you keep sharing that, I want to invite a lady who has also been, has done very well, directed 2 implementing partner. And us to put our hands together as we invite Josephine Nyamai, coordinator at CRBH. Tumpigieni makofi, Josephine. Yes, karibu sana Josephine. Thank you very much. So you will answer that question. And as you answer the question, I have another question for you, Josephine. And the question is, what was your feeling the first time you attended a meeting, an IBP Kenya meeting or training? What was your feeling the very first time you attended?
Thank you, Anthony. And to answer the first question, where IBP Kenya currently works, IBP is currently represented in that 6 counties. And I know they are in the process of filling the 11 remaining counties. I hope I am correct.
The majority are wrong.
And to answer the second question on my very first feeling when I attended the IBP meeting, that was in 2017. And I was working with IPF. My former boss is here. And I just realized all along in campus, I was using the materials that IBP had developed for reference when I was writing my academic paper. So the feeling was, I was excited, and I remember sharing the paper with Jason via email. Thank you.
Oh, lovely. Let's appreciate Josephine one more time. Thank you very much. We move to question number 3. Question number 3, menti.com. Question number 3, all right. Who are the first IBP Kenya staff members? Wow. Who are the first IBP staff members, yeah? The names are coming up, all right? So we have Jason, and Kinuthia, Mokeira, Jason is very prominent here, all right? All right, as we continue with the names, I want to invite someone else who is a staff member, directed to staff member, as one of our staff members, to also answer this question. Is the SPO IBP Kenya. Let's put our hands together as we invite John Kinuthia. Wapi makofi ya John? Yes. Karibu sana, John. So you'll mention some of the members, the very first ones, but as you do that, you can also tell us, why do you still work with IBP Kenya?
That second one. Okay, let me start with the easy one. So the initial team that has gone up, so people are correct. So of course, in 2011, Jason comes in. Then Vivian Magero, who is online, starts doing some type of internship with Jason. Then a few months later, Jason walks up to my desk and is like, do you want to work with IBP? I'm like, yes, so no interview, I just joined. So then Mokeira turns up. She was a student, no, she was not, she was doing her master's, I think. And then we're in a meeting and she's behind us with her professor. They are the noisiest people in the room. We just had to notice them. For some reason, Mokeira also starts working with us. And then we had Vivian Tinyari came in and Ngoka, so the team kept growing. Why do I still work with IBP? Yeah, I've been here for a very long time. A very long time. But the reason why I would answer it in 2 parts. The first one is what Anthony said, and also Kimani has touched on it, is that I work with the coolest colleagues, and I'm not sugarcoating that, right?
Wow.
So we have such a nice team that always makes you feel at home. Even for those of us who are older in the organization, we don't feel like we've been put in a certain box. When we need to be called out, we are called out. But we really have a nice team, and that has always made me feel at home. They don't just care about work, they also care about you as a person and you and your family. That's why our spouses are in this room today as well, for those of us with spouses. We did tell the whole organization, come with a significant other, but not everyone did. The second one is the fact that, and it's something Mokeira touched on, actually, in all honesty, especially in those early years, we were biting way more than we could chew. But it always felt like every day we were changing something significant. The very first time we ever, the photo that was being shown of Jason seated with the governor of Taita Taveta, Murutu, we had just gone to Taita Taveta to meet one of our partners. The next thing we knew, we were being led into the governor's office. We were there, no suit, nothing. We just looked like that. So our work has always felt really great. And the impact that I think many of us can attach our name to is because of that feeling that every day we were making a big change in Kenya. So reason why I'm not out of IBP yet.
Right.
Yes, and I fear going to another organization because I'll have to do an interview.
Well, let's appreciate John. Yeah, and you'll have to update your CV again and many other things, right? That's a real fear, yeah, proper fear. So thank you very much, John. I had lunch with John today, and I saw when he spoke, he was very proud of being part of IBP Kenya. in a few hours, we'll be moving to another organization. So your prayer will actually, an interview will just happen. So be on standby for that as well. All right, so we go to question number 4. Question number 4. Menti.com. Thank you very much. We have a lot of online guys also listening in and watching. What was the first thought you got when you heard the name IBP Kenya? Interesting. What was the first thought you got when you heard the name IBP Kenya? I'm sure these are very interesting, yeah? Budgets, credible budgets, budget transparency. All right, budgets. Oh, wow, it is based in Kenya, transparency, excellence. I can't see the word bill here. Okay. All right, money, thank you. Money, budget, and many more, right? So we'll take a pause on this because Priscilla is just getting in a few. In the meantime, our brother Stephen Masha, who also is a government representative, who works very closely with IBP Kenya, will also be sharing. But let's go to question number 5. Let's go to question number 5. And this one is more specific on media, then we'll come back to Priscilla, all right? So what's one word to describe IBP Kenya in the media? All right, let's get to see the responses. What's one word to describe IBP Kenya in the media? Authentic. Wow. Experts. Good. Authoritative, budget experts. Smart. Real, factual. Diplomatic. Authentic. Oh, interesting. Professionals. Eloquent. Amazing. Wow. Budget experts. These are really nice words, Cindy. Amazing words. So these words have come from people who have been in the media, I suppose, as well. So they have actually represented IBP Kenya very, very well to bring out this. So to invite a gentleman who works with the media to confirm if this is true or not true, I want to invite Harrison Manga. He's from Media Focus on Africa, just to come and shed more light on this. Let's appreciate our brother Harrison Manga as he comes to also share with us. Karibu sana, Harrison. Thank you, Mr. DJ, for playing that song. For Harrison, all right? A media guy, guru, all right. Harrison, karibu sana, and I also have a question for you. What do you expect every time you cover or invite IBP Kenya to your space or to any other media spaces they get to go to?
Thank you. I think the word that I would like to use, and that's what I think of IBP when they come to our events, they are simplifiers. The budget and all the related stuff can be very technical, can be very complicated for the average everyday person, and the IBP Kenya team are excellent at making it so simple, so relatable, and something that people can connect to and make sense of. So that's what I would say.
Wow, let's appreciate him. He's broken it down very well, all right? And we can be able to relate to it. Asante sana, Harrison. Priscilla is here with us. Priscilla, sorry, will not give you a breather. We want to invite you to answer a question that you never had. But we'll help you out. So let's put our hands together as we invite Priscilla Chebet. So IBP Kenya works a lot with the government, and she's here to represent as well. Karibu sana. You can dance, yes. All right, Karibu Priscilla. The question we ask is, what was the first thought you got when you had the name IBP Kenya? People have said many things, but we'll also want to listen to your own experience. And as you do that, there's another question. What is unique about working and interacting with IBP Kenya in a field that is as niche as public finance?
Like the Mheshimiwa said. First of all, I come from the farthest place. I'm from Kapenguria, and the cab driver who just dropped me told me, Kapenguria ni wapi? And I was like, oh my God. Now I have to explain Kenya to these guys. So sorry for being late, and I brought the reins, which means blessings. IBP. It was International Budget Partners. I remember I met John, the Mzungu guy, in a conference somewhere. And I think I said one or two things that were amazing to him. So he told me to meet him at a place called Trattoria. And I was not a Nairobian. I just come from California to Kapenguria. So I didn't know Nairobi quite well. So I got lost. But anyway, we met, and he had a lot of great ideas to talk about. But for me, being an activist in the budget sector, I found that IBP was a place where we could talk about how we are practically supposed to implement budgets at the county level, dealing with the programs, the processes, the items, the expenditure items that we're required to do in the scope of something called SCORE, Standard Chart of Accounts. So I see my friends here, we started bombarding this thing called the Standard Chart of Accounts, and I think it has been picked up quite well. And then IBP brought West Pokot to the limelight. I always say, watu wa mashinani tunasahaulika. So IBP picked on West Pokot's budget, and they ran with it. So every time, thank you, give them a big clap. So every time we would do anything, they would always make sure they talk about West Pokot. So people got to listen and hear about West Pokot from IBP. They were the first champions for West Pokot. So I thought about, in the concept of devolution, IBP chose to go where nobody else was going. In fact, they were the first team that came out to see us, to meet with us, and to see how we can be able to better our processes, especially when it came to this thing called program-based budgeting. You know, it was an animal in the field. Nobody understood it, but they told us, okay, we can work with you. And they've worked with us every time to date. What was your second question? Surely, I do not remember it, but that is what I know about IBP, and they've been truthful to making sure that transparency is what we do, reporting is what we do, and dissemination of information when it comes to budget is really critical, and that's what we do. Thank you.
All right, that's very elaborate. Let's appreciate Priscilla. Thank you very much. In a way, you've answered the second question, but let me just read it again if you need to add more. So what is unique about working and interacting with the IBP Kenya in a field that is as niche as public finance?
What is unique? IBP gets to understand the thing called public participation better than I think everybody else. Everybody talks about public participation, it's in the Constitution, you're supposed to do public participation. But when you ask about what is public participation, to what extent do you do public participation? So we go to argue the fact that, and I see my best friend here, the interaction of the public with public documents. What do you take to the public to measure the standard of public participation? Do you go for the ADP, and then 1 month later you go for the CFSP, and then another month later you go for the budget estimates, and then another month later, you know, how many times can you go to the public and do public participation and be seen to be doing the right thing? So I think when it came to IBP, we got to say, which documents do we do stakeholder meetings? So we fine-tuned the processes with IBP. Which documents go for the mass public participation? And then which documents do you just do stakeholder engagement so that you can get a quality input? And then which documents do you just publicize, and then you let the public give you feedback in whatever function or forum or methodology. So I thought that IBP got to understand public participation in the scheme of public finance better than most people did. Thank you.
Right. Well done. Well said. One more time, let's appreciate Priscilla. Thank you very much, Priscilla. And thank you for making your way all the way, at least I know Kapenguria. All right? Yeah, asante sana. Thank you for coming over to celebrate this relaunch with us. At this point, I think we want to listen to very powerful speeches. Some of them are looking at me and wondering, eh? But we'll actually get to listen to a gentleman who's online. Then after that, Albert will play for us a short video. And then now we'll get into listening to a few speeches, all right? So I don't know if Masha is together with us. Masha? You're there, Masha?
Yes, I am online.
Lovely. The opportunity is yours. I think you will just get to share your very short experience of working with IBP Kenya. Karibu sana.
Thank you, and thank you, distinguished guests. My name is Stephen Masha. I'm the Deputy Controller of Budget. My interaction with IBP dates back to about 2010. It's about 10 years now that I've interacted with IBP. My first interaction with them was from our own reports and engagements with them. But later, there's a time that we needed to enhance our collaboration and develop capacity for our staff. As you are aware, the controller of budget is mandated to oversee implementation of the budgets at the both levels of government. So initially, when we started off with our operations, we needed to build capacity. And who did we turn to? At the time, we turned to ISPAC for purposes of procurement, but we were very clear with ISPAC that indeed we had a gentleman in mind at that time that we wanted that the facilitation to be provided by a gentleman by the name Jason. Jason then was working for IBP, and we had, for a long time as an office, been following his articles. I think he was running a column at the time in the dailies. And we thought there was an opportunity for us to not only collaborate with the civil society, but also build capacity. So for IBP, in my view, the starting point is I've seen them occupy a space, the space of fostering collaboration with government and building capacity of public institutions. Another important area that I've seen IBP contribute is in line with Article 201 of the Constitution, which calls for openness and accountability in the way as a country we manage our public funds. I've seen this through the collaborations and some of the initiatives they get involved in, IBP has been involved in, the Open Budget Survey, which provides an in-depth and comprehensive assessment of budget transparency within the country. And in that sense, they have helped us, even as an office, satisfy or advocate for the satisfaction of the provision of Article 201A of the Constitution, which calls for openness and accountability. Another important area, which a colleague has alluded to from West Pokot, is the area of public participation in financial management matters, which again is one of the public finance principles advocated not only in the Constitution, but also in the public finance management framework. Through the various initiatives, the surveys that IBP has been undertaking, we have seen that IBP is able and has enhanced the concepts and even the understanding of public participation. Because as a country, we adopted this as a concept, as a principle, but at some point it looked as a very hazy principle. The principle was hazy. What is public participation? If you asked anybody out there, the answers would be as varied as the number of people you would ask. But IBP has helped us deconstruct and come to a deep understanding in terms of the surveys they undertake, the strategies that have adopted to involve the public and aligning some of the aspects that are required in the formulation of budgets. The final area that I wanted to talk about here, which for me is very critical, is the area of promoting the credibility of our budgets. I remember when we started with devolution, as we started operations, at some point, if you looked, one would compare the starting budget and the budget at the end of the financial year. Those would be two different documents. But now the space that IBP occupied, of course, along with other institutions, has been able to bring about an enhanced knowledge to ensure that we can align our spending plans, our estimates to the plans that we've developed. And within the year, there's been a lot of insistence on adherence to the plans and the budgetary provisions, and of course, within the fiscal responsibility principles that have been stipulated in the Public Finance Management Act. So in short, my view and my interactions with IBP have indicates, as a person, I can share this as a testimony from my own interactions on the capacity building that IBP has done, not only to government institutions and not at the national level, but also at the counties. I think a couple of counties have had IBP staff assist them in developing budgets, in developing budget-related documentation. The other aspects that I've alluded to earlier, I want to say that they have brought in a lot of expertise in the advocacy area, promoted openness within our budget frameworks, and also fostered credibility for our budgets to ensure that as a people, as a country, we are able to deliver on the aspirations that the Kenyan citizens have. So for that, I say congratulations, IBP, even as you rebrand. I hope you keep the spirit, and I wish you well in the ensuing years. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. That's Stephen Marsha. Did you realize there was a safe behind him? I was just wondering, what does that safe keep? Priscilla, are you able to explain? You work together. You know what is in there. Before I release this panel, we have Josephine, who needed to briefly talk about the work they do as an implementing partner. So in just a minute or so, she can engage us on that.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. So I had stated that our first engagement with IBP was somewhere in 2017. So 2 years down the line, I became part of the cohort 4 of the budget facilitators, and now we joined the bigger pool of budget facilitators who underwent the Kenya County Budget Facilitators Training Program. When Imokera was introducing, she said that they had an idea of changing Kenya by ensuring that more people are speaking about budgets. So as part of cohort 4, of course, by saying cohort 4, there were 3 others who went before us. IBP continued engaging us. And one thing I like is that there has been sustainability in terms of engagement. But there was something unique about cohort 4, and I speak for the rest of the others who are joining us online and even here. IBP continuously continued to engage us, more so in collaborative research, in Equity Week, and various programs within our own counties. But that was not enough to enhance and ensure that there's collaborated efforts for the budget facilitators who had been trained in various areas in the country, that is in the 36 counties where the facilitators had been trained. That is now where the regional budget hubs were introduced. And currently, as we are speaking, the hubs have become organizing spaces that are leading budget advocacy, research and engaging from a point of evidence in the counties. Currently represented in the 4 counties, I coordinate the Coast Regional Budget Hub, whereby we are currently working with 15 budget facilitators and over 300 budget champions. And even going forward, we believe that we will be represented in each and every ward. It is one day at a time, and I know it is the same for the other hubs. So I would describe this journey as a journey that has been for I'm looking for the correct word, but I would say it has been advancing from one stage to the other, adventure, looking for new things. And, we look forward for continued collaboration. The support has been overwhelming. Right now, you can go to a place called, Hola, somewhere in Tana River, or you can go to Lamu and you will find people speaking about budgets. You can go to somewhere in Taita. I know it is it is a difficult area, but with time it is becoming softer and softer. You can go to somewhere in Kishushe and you will find women speaking about budgets. You can go somewhere in Mombasa like Mwakirunge and you'll still find people speaking about budgets. And this is just the coast region, and I know it is the same in the other regional hubs where IBP actively works. So we appreciate the technical support that you offer the regional hubs. We appreciate the financial support, and we hope even as you rebrand, the partnership can only grow more stronger with a lot of collaboration as we see what the future holds for budget. So thank you so much for decentralizing public finance in the Kenyan wards, and we look for more until every person will be a budget person, until each day is going to be a budget day, and until every issue is going to be a budget issue. Thank you so much.
All right, let's appreciate Jocelyn, very passionate, all right? Thank you very much. So ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for this amazing panelists. Thank you very much. Asanteni sana. All right, Asante, thank you very much. I appreciate you. Is there, probably I need to ask the ED, is there criteria for you to be a partner, whether implementing, in terms of your name? Because I realize a lot of these guys are J's, Joseph, John, and so on. So for those of you who are J's, you have a better opportunity, all right? So thank you very much. One more time, thank you very much for our guests who are with us today. So at this point, for the interest of time, I want us to move into the other segment of just getting to listen to what this has been. And we have a few of us who are going to share the journey. Some are here. We have someone in Washington, D.C., we have someone else in Ecuador. But we want to start with a gentleman whose name has been mentioned many times. He stood here and there. And let me just read this about this gentleman. So Jason Lakin shares on the motivation of IBP, starting off the work in Kenya and later spinning off IBP Kenya, the journey from their end and what they see as a great opportunities for IBP Kenya. He shares the joys and struggles of starting the work in Kenya. He acknowledges the work undertaken by the funding team, that's the board and staff, especially Jason Lakin, Warren, Helena, and Rose near us. Special mention of the founding staff team. That's Jason Lakin, John Kinuthia, Mokeira Nyagaka, Nora, Vivian Magero, and Vivian Ntinyari. So finally, Jason acknowledges the support of various partners as Hivos, SIDA, IEA Kenya, among others. He shares on the inspirations and the desire of the kind of work organization desired then and how he sees the vision unfolding. He shares his thoughts as a member and current director. Shares also the light moments in the process. So ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? So let's put our hands together as we invite Dr. Jason Lakin. Wapi makofi yake tafadhali. Karibu sana.
Wow. A lot of tough acts to follow. But the good thing is, I guess everything has been said. So it makes it easier to meet my task. I was told that I needed to talk about the first 7 years of IBP in 5 minutes. So We'll see how that goes. It is an incredible feeling to be here today with all of you. I came to Kenya in 2011 with no idea where we were going. And here we are 13 years later. At the time, I had the moral support of Warren, the head of IBP at the time, and my boss, Elena Hofbauer, but little else. We had no footprint here, we had no institutional support here. In 2011, 2011 was the era of the pocket constitution. I think some of us remember those little Human Rights Commission pocket constitutions, and we used to carry those pocket constitutions with us everywhere, to every meeting, because we had to be prepared to talk about what was then the Public Finance Management Bill, or the County Government's Bill, before those were passed, and we were trying to input, and people would say things, and we weren't sure if what they were saying was true, is that what's in the Constitution or not, and we would whip out the Constitution. So we always had those little books with us. And at that time, IBP was also a pocket organization. As we have been told, it was just me and a small piece of John's time. We were focused, like those books, on information, on laws, on rules, on regulations, because that was a time when people needed to know what is changing, what is happening. And so that was our focus. And we did the FAQs and the 50 questions about the public finance in Kenya, and we were really focused on information. And it was just a small team. We worked first from a hot desk at Hivos, Twaweza. As I said, it was me, a little bit of John's time. He wasn't officially with us. And then Vivian Magero came on board, and we were upgraded to a closet at the Society for International Development, very generously gave us their broom closet. And it was tight quarters. When our bookkeeper used to come, I had to move to the floor or to the hall, or if I was lucky, to the boardroom, if there was nothing going on at SID. And in that boardroom, I interviewed Vivian Intanyari, who came to join us and to help develop our systems. And the legacy of those systems is still with us today. We had no idea what we were doing back then. We had no institutional systems. And I want to just highlight Vivian's coming on board and Mokera's coming on board at that time, because, you know, when Vivian applied to work at IBP, she had been at the Commission on Revenue Allocation, and she was an intern there, basically. And she was the least qualified, least experienced candidate who applied for the job at IBP. But at that time, we ran on passion and fumes, and she showed commitment and organization at CRA, helping us get the work done. And we knew she was going to bring that to IBP, and she did bring that to IBP. And so that was the kind of person that we looked for. Mokera was that kind of person too. She's already been spoken about and had a chance to speak, but she was also the kind of person who, when you met her, you knew she was going to work until the very last, because she was committed and passionate about the work, and that's what we were looking for. So we moved from the era of the pocket constitution then into the era of participation. A lot's been said about that. We tried to work through institutions at the local level. We supported new institutions. Morogoro is here, and some of those institutions that we supported are now bigger than IBP. We supported KIP, who we've also heard about. We also tried to work more directly with citizens. A lot's been said about Taita Taveta. And of course, Carolyn and I, over various meetings at Yaya Art Cafe or thereabouts, came up with the Budget Facilitators Program, which Uraia then generously supported, and has allowed us, as Josephine was talking about, to spread all over the country. And we learned from our work that citizens were actually learning faster than government how things were working, and so we needed to correct that imbalance, and we started to work with governments, and that's also been talked about, so I won't repeat that. We started working, we were working on the revenue sharing formula and critiquing the CRA. Masha very generously talked about the column that I used to write, but one of the things that the CRA used to complain about was those columns because we were criticizing them. But we learned not just to criticize them, but also to work together and to develop the County Budget and Economic Forum guidelines. And we worked closely with them over the years. But as we worked and as we released information, we also found that the media needed some work. When John would present to the media on our work, he was often quoted. We talked about expertise and credibility. He was quoted as an expert, but his name was changed to Canulium. And we knew that we needed to do something about that, so we needed to train the media, and so we started doing trainings with the media and working with Harrison and Media Council and moving around the country. But then we realized, we saw the media was stealing our work and not citing it and getting it wrong, and so we realized that wasn't enough. We also needed to check what the media was doing, to fact check the media, and so we started Pace a Check with Code for Africa to fact check what the media was doing, and that's since taken off in a variety of ways. And then the thing that probably we've always been best known for is our work, or at that time we're best known for, was our work on revenue sharing and equity. And John and I thought that that was the work, that was our meal ticket, that was the work that was going to take us around the ticket and make us into movie stars. So we decided we were going to do a movie, and we were going to star in it. And we worked with Lightbox, and we made that movie, and nobody ever watched it, but we still made an impression. And I remember when we were in Isiolo, John and I, at a hotel next to a camel milking patch, and we were at the reception, and this lady was staring at us. She kept staring at us. I don't know what we were doing. We were waiting for something to happen. And eventually we said, why are you staring at us? Is it because we're movie stars? She said, no. Well, it turned out that she thought that we were twin brothers, and she was just trying to work it out. So I did used to have darker skin, but not that dark. Anyway, that was a quick overview of 7 years at IBP, and I haven't been able to mention anything close to all of the things that we did. Many things were mentioned and brought back a lot of memories today. Our work with the heads of budgets and our work with so many institutions over the years that we were able to develop relationships with, and that those relationships continue today, which is a testament to which is all the people in this room and online. It's not my task to talk about the 7 years that came after that. I'm going to turn it over to the next guy for that. But I am just so proud of the work that we did during that time and the work that continues today. As a member of the board, it just gives me great pleasure. As John said, there are just so many friendships, and it's always just wonderful to be together with this group as it's changed and morphed and new people have come on, and we've continued to find ways to work together. So I'm just so pleased to be here, and thank you for giving me the chance to say a few words.
All right, let's appreciate Dr. Jason Lakin. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's good to start, right? You don't get there if you haven't started. Those who understand Swahili better say, tatu haiwi tatu kabla haijaanza na moja. 3 becomes 3 because there was a 1. So it's good to begin, and thank you for the fumes and the very little you had to push the agenda. There's an African proverb that says, if you think you're too small to make a difference, try spending the night with a mosquito. You'll understand what little means, all right? So I want to invite the next speaker, who's currently the executive director. Dr. Abraham Rugo is passionate and committed to advancing local development. He's currently the County Manager Executive Director of the International Budget Partnerships, Kenya, based in Nairobi since July 2017. Previously, he worked at the Institute of Economic Affairs between 2007 to 2013, and as a public policy and devolution consultant 2014 to 2017. He has a wealth of experience working in decentralization, participatory governance, and public finance management in Kenya. His work over the last 15 years has entailed supporting citizens to participate in and advocate for improved service delivery by government at national and local level. This has been through research, policy analysis, and advocacy, facilitating capacity building programs, and engaging public educational talks. As a contemporary speaker, Dr. Rugo is regularly engaged in training and public talks on topics around governance, public finance management, devolution, spiritual and holistic personal development. He holds a master's and doctoral degrees in public management from the University of Potsdam, Germany. So ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together as we invite Dr. Abraham Rugo. What a song. This is one for dancing, eh? Thank you very much. You remind me of our school days. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you. One of the fun facts is that I'm the tallest in my family. And the second good thing is that at least this hotel got the podium right. Such a pleasure for me to be able to join us today for this momentous day. We have waited for this day, we have planned for it, we have agreed and disagreed, and it's so joyous to see friends, both virtually. I think we have a huge crowd virtually, to see my friends in the room, to see people who I have known in this space for many years. I cannot even start to count the names, so allow me not to start acknowledging everybody because each of you has a story. And therefore, we are pleased by your presence. For this is not just an event, but a journey that we have built together over the years. We have cherished every cheer and jeer, every praise and criticism, every carrot and sometimes sticks that you have given to us. And for that, we say thank you. We come to remember and celebrate the work we have done over the years, to reflect on the history, and together envision what the future holds. Today, we want to count the good, to be thankful, to count our blessings, and indeed name them one by one. But as we do, we cannot forget the many families that are in pain for losing their loved ones and their livelihoods in what was meant to be a journey towards justice, accountability, and better governance. Many who died for simply standing for the truth. Please rise with me and let's observe a moment of silence in memory of the 60+ Kenyans who lost their lives in the last 1 month. Thank you. You may have your seats. While the journey is not over, the fallen ones represent our collective pain and longing for a better life. May their pain never be in vain. May their groans of death be a constant nag on our conscience, not to rest until we are all at rest. Passionate hope, committed team, skilled engagement. These are the three phrases that can sum up over the 10 years of work in the Kenya public finance space that IBP Kenya has been involved in. Passionate hope. Hope that a better country is possible. Hope that public resources can be applied for the good of all. Hope that inclusion is not only a desirable thing, but possible. Hope that all voices count, and thus every voice should always be counted. Hope that one day we shall have budget spaces with a representation of the face of the country, especially women and the youth. While hope is not a strategy, we hold that lack of it is not strategic either. So we are set to hire and promote based on passion. This is because a passionate person can be skilled, while the reverse is not always the case. As a result, we have been privileged to attract and retain very good people who are passionate about the change that is possible. Passion has meant that we work beyond the call of duty, rise above average expectations, and reach heights that few of us ever imagined. Were it not for hope, some of us will be physics and mathematics teachers. Some will be testing the food quality of our country. Others will be running empty regressions and trying to make a living in the matatu industry. Not to say that those courses are not good, but passion is what has brought us together. Passion has brought us together and keeps us engaged. Passion has seen us push the wheel when few care to even turn and look what's the problem. And passion has finally borne fruits. Today, we do not need to ask anybody to care about public budgets. They are all woke. Wanaanguka nayo. Committed team. Through Passionate Hope, we have built not just the dozen of colleagues who work at IBP Kenya, but a whole array of budget practitioners and entities across this republic. We are constantly reminded that it takes a team to hunt a buffalo. It takes a bigger team to kill the Leviathan, and the current one seems to have many horns. And we are fully convinced that a committed team can put it down. We firmly believe that it is people who drive change. Change needs a system to sustain it, and meaningful results take time to achieve. As such, we have worked and built a big team, starting with 5 to 15 staff, 25 to over 100 budget facilitators covering all counties of Kenya, over 1,000 budget champions, and a host of peers and implementing partners. The team that now comprises 5 regional budget hubs and several budget cells across this country. Let us appreciate for the work that has done. This team has stood on the shoulders of many in this room and outside this room joining us virtually, who continue to relentlessly fund and share their wisdom at every point. These are both local and international partners. Specifically, we have stood on the shoulders of IBP, International Budget Partnership, colleagues across the globe who have continued to inspire, challenge, and pour all they have for the work of a better world. We are proud to have come this far, and to each of them and to each of you, we say thank you. Skilled engagement. Passion without skill is dangerous. We are committed to build a team, and we have continued to build a team that is skilled in their engagement. Through extensive training and hands-on work, we have developed ourselves as leaders in collaborative research, embedded capacity strengthening, and strategic advocacy in all budget areas. We have built ourselves, former physics teachers, into people who understand health budgets, understand water, social protection, education, among others. The Budget Facilitators Program that we have continued to be involved in, and I must mention Carol Nyamo, who is here, and Grace Maingi will be coming later. They supported us when we had no idea what we were doing, and they said, looks like Mbele iko sawa, let us go. Takes 9 months of committed training. There are a few programs I know out here that take 9 months. And through that, we have continued to churn many Kenyans who can then be able to engage in their communities out of skill. We have tried and tested learning approaches through applied research and regular reviews and reflections. And I think Josephine Jungi is here. She has helped us a lot with applied research. Josephine, I think I saw her somewhere. Please, yes, Josephine is right there. At a time when we didn't know what applied research was all about. And therefore, we've worked to make sure that whatever we are learning as those going ahead in this space continue to be documented through our regular reviews and reflections. We have worked to develop our systems of people and financial management, of deliberative public engagement, and corporate governance. We are building our skills in inclusive budget designs with women, with children, with persons with disability in responsive budgeting. In equitable distribution of public finances, and currently working on how we can use systems change to be able to bring change at scale. At a personal level, on the 24th of July, 2017, I walked into IBP Kenya. Over the last 7 years, it has been an exciting yet humbling journey. Of every blessing I know of, having a great team tops my list. To each of you, my colleagues, I say thank you. Thank you for bearing with me and with us when I seem to be demanding more than what is practically possible. Thank you for not giving up when it seemed as the only viable option. Thank you for the long hours of work without complaint. Thank you for giving your best daily, for demanding nothing but the highest standards possible, and for keeping me on my toes. Thank you for accepting the call to bear the madness of a society and work to achieve better health in the long run. We all celebrate you and agree that indeed, you should not call anyone mad who bears the madness of a society. To our families, spouses, and children, many of the children are not here, and those yet to be publicly revealed, special ones. We are still waiting, the evening is still long. Thank you for allowing us to carry the load of a nation. Thank you for being our sounding boards and sometimes our punching bags. Sometimes for the debriefs that we carry with you, even for things that you barely understand. We promise to be better humans, but cannot ascertain that we will not drag the madness of the society with us past this day. We are cognizant, colleagues, that we need many people engaging. And moving forward, we are creating a space of collaboration and engagement with public budgets for a truly transformed country. We believe that people from all walks and persuasions can discuss budgets and meaningfully achieve a better society for all. We want all to get well and not just pay the fare, so-called the welfare system. While we may not change everything for everyone, we are keen to change something for someone. Imagine if all we did was cause our change. I therefore invite us on this day when we are thinking about the future of IBP Kenya to fan our passion in hope, to commit to be part of the team that will cause the transformation, and to prepare ourselves for one day our chance is coming. I thank you.
The emperor, the conqueror, the champion, the lion is here.
Wow, we can do better than that. Let's appreciate Dr. Rugo. Very passionate. The DJ calls him the emperor, the conqueror. The champion is here, all right? Thank you very much. We've seen him on even media, very passionate. There are days you wonder, are you sure? But he keeps going. And we are some of the reasons why we are witnessing what we are witnessing in our nation today is because of the causes like this. And so we appreciate IBP Kenya, looking forward to better days ahead. So right now I want to invite someone who's also very, very special to IBP Kenya. She's streaming live from Ecuador. Ecuador is in which continent? South America, all right? But before we get there, I'll be inviting Marion. Marion is in Washington, D.C., all right? Many miles away, but let me just read this. So Marion Diudon is joined the International Budget Partnerships as its Director of Finance in 2019 and is since 2022 IBP's Director of Finance and Operations. Marion has over 20 years of finance, accounting, human resources management, contracting, and legal experience in both nonprofit and for-profit sectors. Prior to joining IBP, Marion worked at Ernst & Young, Medicines and Frontiers as Doctors Without Borders, Conservation International Foundation, and Viamo Incorporated. Marion has been the chair of the board of IBP Kenya since 2021. So ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together as we invite Marion. Welcome, Marion.
Thank you so much, Anthony. Can you hear me?
Can hear you. Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, you can? Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. I even can say Doctor Without Borders in Swahili. I think it's Waganga Bila Mipaka, if I say it properly. from my time when I worked in DRC with the organization. And I knew few words in Swahili, but sadly my speech today will not be in Swahili. So thank you so much, Anthony, for the introduction. I am really honored and proud to join this event today and to celebrate IBP Kenya 10th-year journey. And I think it's only the beginning of something amazing that will happen. So I just want also to celebrate in advance the year to come. I hope you are having a really great day. I have joined from the beginning, and I have found myself laughing a lot, clapping, even if I'm just alone in my house in Washington, D.C. But I really felt I was part of it, and I hope that everybody who is online has the same feeling as me. But I just find it amazing what we are living right now. It's difficult to go after all these wonderful speakers we had, particularly Jason and Abraham, my dear fellow on the board. But I will just say a few words because I will also get emotional. It's a big moment for all of us, I think, to see and celebrate what we have done. And I just think it's the moment where we reflect on what we have been doing. Today it's a lovely meeting, the image of everything that has been said by Anthony, Joseph, Josephine, Priscilla, Mokera, Stephen, John, Harrison, Jason, and Abraham. In short, what I heard from them, and that was not in my original speech, is that this is a group of the coolest people working on changing Kenya with excellence and expertise. And I think that's how I will resume what's happening today. Just the coolest people in the same room or on the same Zoom link, trying to change and make the world a better place. It is really powerful to see the community that the team has built, which is clear in all the anecdotes that are said and shared today, and also the amount of budget champions that we have online and that are also in person in the room. I joined IBP Kenya board in 2020, and when I joined, it was because it was part of my job. As the Director of Finance of Operation at IBP, I needed to be on the board of IBP Kenya. And I stayed, and I became passionate about what we were doing and what we were trying to change. And I even took on the role of the chairperson because I really believed in the mission of the organization and how this would make a change. And it did not become anymore a job, it became something that I was passionate about, calling Abraham sometime during the weekend to discuss what was happening and what we were supposed to do, and really supporting the effort that was done by the team. I witnessed firsthand the board and the team working really closely to implement, as we were going for the transition, all the systems that the organization would need to become a successful independent organization. From the development of a new strategy to brainstorming on what would be the board composition, from lengthy meeting reviewing details of article of incorporation, if Article 36 match Article 25, and if the wording in one is different from the other one, to more exciting, I have to say, conversation about new area of work that we would tackle or new problematics, we paved together IBP's Kenya new path. We were committed, and we are all committed to the organization. And the board of directors showed up whatever was happening in their own life, babies. I had 2 in the meantime, new jobs for some of us, as we believed in IBP Kenya and its mission. And I just want to take the opportunity to thank all the Kenya board members, past and present, Rose, Claudio, Jason, Angeli, Austin, for their time and their commitment, and also our IBP Kenya new members, Mokera and Vivian, who are also being really supportive and helpful and stepping in for the transition of the organization. Navigating governance change and handling legal requirement is not easy, but we made it, and you, the IBP Kenya team, you made it. And now, today we are here to celebrate a relaunch of IBP Kenya into an independent organization. I have one regret that I want to share with everybody, is that I have not yet done a board meeting under a tree. I have sadly made all of them in a Zoom call, and when I heard Mokera mentioning the story of the meeting under the tree, I think I have to tell my fellow board member that the next one will be in Kenya and it will be under a tree. The only thing that I'm not sure will work well is if we have a lot of snakes around us. Even if we may be friends, I'm not sure we can really handle it, but we can discuss it. The main point I wanted to highlight also is that over the year, Abraham has led the organization with tenacity, and I have a chance to work really closely with him over the past few years that I was on the board. While working on the transition to build a new IBP Kenya, with the new name to be announced really soon, he and his team also significantly developed the programmatic work of the organization and expanded the role of and the impact of IBP in Kenya, but also in international platform, as was said. And all of this work, at the end, would not also have been possible without the support of our donor who wanted to support IBP Kenya work. I think it's important to recognize that they have also been champion of the work of IBP Kenya and of the transition we are looking at. And those donors are Luminate, Diakonia and the Embassy of Sweden, UNICEF, Co-Impact, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the Royal Norwegian Embassy, the National Endowment for Democracy, IVOS, Thinkwell, and the World Bank. Without them, we would not be where we are, we would not be implementing the activities that we have done, and we will not continue to change the budget, transparency, and advocacy work in Kenya. I promise that I would not be emotional during this call, and as you can probably start to hear, it's happening now, so I will just conclude with only 2 words now that I dedicate to the IBP Kenya team, and it will be those, Asante sana, my friend.
All right, thank you very much, Marion, all the way from Washington, D.C. Très bien. Merci beaucoup. Tu doute bénisse. That's French. Thank you very much. She's agreeing, all right? There's a French proverb. In Swahili, we say kidogo kidogo hujaza. So there's also a French proverb, and Marion can confirm, that says, petit appétit, cela fait beaucoup. Kidogo kidogo hujaza. Turn to the person next to you, say, petit appétit, cela fait beaucoup. Mwambie bonsoir. Thank you very much. One more time, let's appreciate Marion. Now that she said a few Swahili words, we can also afford to say a few French words, all right? So thank you very much. I want us to, as we head towards the relaunch, a very exciting moment, I want to invite the Executive Director of IBP. She's currently in Ecuador. So Ana Patricia Munoz, let me just read this. Ana Patricia joined the IBP as Executive Director in 2023. Previously, she was the Executive Director of FARO, nonpartisan Ecuadorian think tank that generates research and implements initiatives to influence public policy and build a more equitable, just, and sustainable society. She spent a decade at the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston, where she rose through the ranks to become Assistant Vice President. She was one of the youngest people and the second Latina in this position. During this time, she spearheaded groundbreaking research and produced a seminal report on the racial wealth gap, which has had a huge impact. She also played a pivotal role in bringing diverse sectors together, from local housing advocates to private banks, to reduce the number of foreclosures in the city during the 2008 financial crisis. So ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together as we invite Ana Patricia. Most welcome. Karibu.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me? Yes.
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, I was waiting for the words in Spanish. Now you did it in French. Now I'm going to feel that I need those words in Spanish. So you have 3 minutes to think about them It is so hard to give a speech, even if it's a 3-minute speech, when I am speechless. I am speechless after hearing all these words from Abraham, from seeing all the emotion, all the stories that I've seen, even through the screen this morning. And that's what I felt when I visited the IBP Kenya office when I first joined IBP in February of last year. I saw that passion firsthand, that commitment, but especially I saw that team. What a fantastic team. And I saw the impact they had already at the national level and at the sub-national level. Oh my gosh, the work you're doing with the budget champions and the hub at the sub-national level is something that at IBP we mention everywhere we go. So congratulations for that, and congratulations for influencing the field. And since we're talking about, yes, bravo, we're talking about anecdotes. The IBP Kenya office is also, they're also such great hosts. You're seeing that today with the warmth they're translating. And I also got my own piece of warmth when they gave me a blanket. The problem was that I was traveling for 3 weeks with a small carry-on. I was about to come back to Ecuador, 30-hour journey, and the blanket did not fit into my carry-on. So I had to take it with me. And I flew all those 30 hours back home with the blanket with me. So IBP Kenya, all the staff, all the champions, you are with me. And that is what IBP is going to be. Sorry, I'm here.
All right, Anna, we will just pause a bit. We have a technical challenge that we'll sort in just a minute. We are not able to hear you at the moment.
Okay, let me know when you can, 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 let me know when you can.
Good? We are good now. You can go ahead.
Yeah, no. Can you hear me? I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you. You can go on now. It's clear.
Can you let me know if you can hear me? Yeah, okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Well, if you didn't hear me, you missed the best part of the speech. But I guess what I wanted to say is that we truly believe in that locally led change that is globally connected. As it was mentioned before joining IBP, I was the head of an organization in Ecuador, South America. Ecuador is a small country in South America, and this organization was one of the partners of IBP, one of the 125 partners across the world. And I'm so happy to confirm every day that IBP continues to believe that change needs to be driven locally, that context matters, and that connection at the regional and global levels are as important as ever. I want to thank also the team from IBP, starting with Marion, you just heard from her, also the communications team and the development team that have been working hand in hand for a few years now to make this journey and this day happen. We truly believe that people who have been marginalized for decades, for centuries, should be key actors, central of the public resource governance system, that reform coalitions that include governments are the way to change the future. And this is something we've heard this morning as well. The last thing I would say is, all of you, we are inspired. The world is inspired by Kenyans that are fighting on the street. I was standing with you in that minute of silence, and I hope good things come after that enormous sacrifice that you have been making. Thank you so much, and I look forward to more opportunities of collaboration and hopefully to get invited in the next 10 years of celebration. Congratulations and a big round of applause to you. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much, Ana Patricia, coming to us from Ecuador. We can afford to say one Spanish word, right? So let's tell her muchas gracias. That one I know most of us know, right? So are you ready to give it to her? 3, 2, 1, let's go. Muchas gracias. Thank you very much. One more time, let's appreciate Anna all the way from Ecuador. Thank you. And looking forward to having you again, all right? So great, we're heading towards the climax. Right about now, I want to introduce our keynote speaker. Are you ready to receive her? You're not ready. Are you ready to receive her? All right, so let me mention something about Grace, who's the executive director at KCDF. So Grace Maingi, who's the executive director at Kenya Community Development Foundation and long-term partner of IBP Kenya since the days when she was ED at Uraia Trust, all right? So as a leader in civil society spaces, she shares her observations of the growth of the work and what she sees as the opportunities ahead. She locates the launch in the current context of public awakening on matters of budgets and what should be our role moving forward, especially in thought leadership and agency building. She also reflects on what is a philanthropy landscape and what broadly should be our posture moving forward. So ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together as we invite Grace Maingi. Karibu sana.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I was happy that they didn't play the song that they played for Rugo, because otherwise I would have done a little jig here. That's one of my favorite I'll not say where I was earlier on today dancing to that song, but my colleagues are not here because we were having a team building, and I must say we danced to that song. So for the Kenyans, they understand. So distinguished guests, esteemed colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, it's an immense privilege to stand before you today to celebrate the remarkable work of IBP Kenya in advancing equity in public budgeting. But before I go further, IBP would not be in my life if it wasn't for one Caroline Nyamu. Caroline, if you could stand up, please. So Caroline Nyamu and I worked at Uraia Trust, and I remember the persistence and excitement that she would come to my office after she had had those very luxurious coffees with Jason at Cafe and Java. I was not invited, I wonder why. But Carol's persistence, really, in saying this is an organization we need to work with, this is an organization that is going to change Kenya, I think is testament today, isn't it? And really, as Carol has really brought fantastic people into my life, if I knew what Rugo said, that they didn't know where they were going, maybe would have thought differently, but they looked like they knew where they were going. I remember going for a meeting and with Moikera there, and John as well, and Jason, and I got a big file. I was like, okay, am I supposed to read this? I don't understand this. This is budget. But they broke it down, and I think that's testament to the excellent work that we have seen, but also the word cloud. And I think that's something, if you could, free advice, print and put on your wall somewhere, because that's excellent. Your commitment to ensuring public resources are distributed fairly and effectively is both commendable and essential. Public budgets are really the lifeblood of any nation. They're the instruments through which we translate societal aspirations into tangible realities. When budgets are equitable, they reflect the needs and priorities of all citizens, irrespective of their social, economic, geographical background. They're a testament to our collective commitment to justice, equality, and the common good. I've had the benefit of seeing the significant work that IBP has done in terms of making sure that they're budget champions, the budget facilitators, and that work permeating through the counties. There are very few organizations that can speak to that testament. They're true sharers of knowledge, teachers in excellence. There's strong equity focus by moving to county budget work at a time when a lot of us were staying at the national level and were worried about this new animal called devolution. Not only are they critical thinkers, but they're professional. Their technical support to the county is top-notch, and that's one of the key things I believe you will carry forward. In terms of what we have ahead, we have a good thing ahead of us, regardless of what we have seen over the last month. We have an engaged citizenry. We have technology on our side. There's a great need for that voice of facts and truth for Kenyans in an age of disinformation and misinformation. There is need to continue the growth of the budget champions, facilitators, and the hubs nationwide because of the growing inequality that we're experiencing in our country. Looking at the philanthropy landscape, Kenya is currently ranked the third in the World Giving Index. We are a generous society. I believe we have seen this even over the last month. I hope IBP, in its new name and formation, will tap into that. Continue and posture as an incubator. New budget engagements. What about a school? What about mentorship and growing the pool of experts beyond the excellent minds that we have in this room? My caution, integrity is key. How will you secure your future? How will you build your assets as an organization? You need to walk the tightrope of collaboration, but not co-option, remaining an influencer and true to your vision of transforming societies to advance transparency, accountability, and participation. Your integrity will remain your shield. In closing, congratulations. This is not a small feat. You have done excellent. And I think it's important to always celebrate the wins. Keep flying, keep soaring, keep striving. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
All right. Grace is so tempted to dance. My goodness. DJ, good job. Right, all right. So ladies and gentlemen, let's appreciate, let's a round of applause for Grace Maingi. Thank you very much. All right, we said when we started that we mentioned a few words: dance, celebration, food, drinks, all right? So we're just about to get into that session where now we unveil the new IBP Kenya. Are you ready? You're not ready. Are you ready? So this is what we will do. This is what we will do. Please make sure your phones are closed, your cameras are ready. We'll be taking selfies at some point. But right about now, we want to show you a small video which also has a countdown. And we will count together as we get to see the new rebranded organization that we are just about to unveil, all right? You guys are ready? Let's do this.
Over 10 years, you have known us as the International Budget Partnership IBP, from the onset, supported budget work in Kenya with the goal of promoting citizen-driven accountability.
All right. The celebration. Unveiling the new budget we have. Ooh, wapinduli shangwe. Come on, come on, come on. Wow. All right. Let's be upstanding, ladies and gentlemen, as we do this. As we can do a small jig, all right, as we change over to the new budget now. 282. Let's just go like this. Let's go. With 80. To the left. To the right. To the left. To the right. Aya, tukanyaga namna hii Pole pole too, like this. Like this. Like this. All right, let's celebrate by JT Hub. Come on.
It's a celebration.
Oh my, oh my. All right, the celebration continues. Let's put our hands together like this. Come on. 20, number 8. Upper 2. Upper 2. Come on.
Let's celebrate.
Very nice. Thank you, thank you, thank you, DJ. I want us to do something. Please get out your phones. Get out your phones. I want you to do a selfie. I want you to take a selfie together with this background, all right, with your friends, anyone. You want to do that as we have some music, chini kwa chini to DJ. As we do that, just a selfie. I'll tell you what you need to do with that selfie, all right? So let's take a selfie, let's enjoy, let's celebrate. DJ, tupatie kitu as we do this. Celebrating by JT Hub. Come on, you can dance as we do a video as well. Come on. It's time to celebrate. Woo!
Let's celebrate.
Do a selfie. You can also do a short video.
A celebration.
All right.
So bring your good time.
Thank you very much. I want you to go with your selfie. I want you to go to any social media platform of your preference, whether X, Instagram, Facebook, or even Threads, all right? So I want you to post that photo and write celebrating over a decade. Yeah, please keep taking the selfies. Let's do this. DJ tupatie tu hewa tukisonga. Let's take as many as we can. All right. Come on. Yes. Panguza camera bana. Panguza camera. All right. Introducing by JT Hub. Collaborate. Engage. Oh, come on. Let's do this. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Introducing by JT Hub. All right.
Acha tuni waweke wazi. Mubaki na mishangao kuswaya mapenzi nataka kuyaeleza.
Yes, sir.
Na leo.
Come on.
Tena waitena.
All right. Time to celebrate.
Warushe kwa mitandao. Siataki mapenzi nataka jipunge.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. We have a beautiful opportunity. Just come, let's do a beautiful photo. All of us, just come. Some of you can come up here. Please come, all of us, all of us. Some can be up here, some down here. All right, time to enjoy. Achinini. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, let's do them selfies. It's all right. Let's keep doing them. Legs kidogo too. All right. This is a time to forget every other thing as we celebrate. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, DJ. All right. Looks like the celebration has just begun. This one is not coming to an end. You have the whole night to celebrate. But let's do this for now. Let's do this for now. We have opportunities for many photos later on. But for now, I want you to go to your social media. I want you to write this. ladies and gentlemen, just post that photo. Write anything you want to write. These are the 2 hashtags. Hashtag number 1, IBP at 10. And the at is not the sign, it is AT. IBP at 10. That's hashtag number 1. Hashtag number 2, IBP Kenya Relaunch, all right? IBP Kenya Relaunch. Our social media handles at Bajeti_Hub on X or Twitter, at Bajeti_Hub on X or Twitter. Elsewhere, it is Bajeti Hub. Bajeti Hub on all the other social media channels other than X. All right? Thank you very much. As we keep doing the celebration, we still have a cake. At this point, I want to invite Ndanu. Please come, Nancy. Nancy Ndanu, please come. All right. I want to invite Neema. Please come. Sandra. Thank you. Then we'll get to unveil the Bajeti Hub team. Turn to your neighbor, mwambie IBP Kenya is gone. Tell them IBP Kenya tumeanguka nayo. Tumeibuka na Bajeti Hub, all right? Nancy, karibu.
Thank you, thank you. I am so excited and so is everyone. A moment, guys, a moment.
All right, we still have an opportunity, just a moment of silence. Briefly, as we finish, then we can continue. Please go ahead.
It's okay. So I'm sure we are settling in. So kindly, let's sit. So far, so good, I can see. So this is a special moment where I want to acknowledge and celebrate all of us for being part of Bajeti Hub, formerly known as IBP Kenya. And I'm so honored to be the first person doing a public, I'm so excited. I'm so lucky to be here, being the first person in IBP Bajeti Hub. Bajeti Hub, doing a public speaking in the midst of, everyone is excited and all that. So I want to appreciate our key speakers. The good thing is that everyone that just talked here represented different categories that are amongst us. And I'll just call them by their names, and then they will move here forward, and then we give them a small token of appreciation. So we are going to start with the key speakers. Those who are physically here, Dr. Abraham Rugo, Jason, and Grace. So kindly move forward. Kuja mkianguka nayo.
Jason, anguka nayo. Yoyo sasa. Haya. Anguka nayo. Anguka nayo. Anguka nayo. Atoshasikia kikingia ni kublast. Huko ngabado na chukua madam, so anguka nao itabaki meflow na vibe. Anguka nao kako single for now. Dagi mdagris mteja patikani hadi late night saa 6 ndo tani wai. Nikupin location ankofana na hii. Sukate call niko chomba ya G. Mimi najua utakuwa irizo release. Acha nikushow kwanza form ya Didon. Nishashika mpua na twende chini kwa chini akiwa hadi na mini. Sasa tunasikiza Shin City tuna feel free. Take a video na post pale NGC. Jina ni Cantel Kurapsi ni talent G. Anguka nao. Anguka nao, check it.
Let's put our hands together and clap for them. These are our key speakers, and we really appreciate them for making our moment so enjoyable. So I request Dr. Abraham to be doing the handovers to the rest of the team. So now we are moving to our government representatives. Priscilla, kindly. Let's Clap for Priscilla. Anguka nayo.
Huyu ni wa kuanguka nayo kabisa. Haya, ndio hiyo. Anguka nayo.
Abraham, you better.
Ndio hiyo sasa. Hey.
Thank you for our implementing partners. I'll call Josephine. Josephine Nyamai. Josephine, anguka nayo.
Ndio hiyo sasa. Hey! Huyu ni Gen Z. Anaanguka nayo.
And then for our media representative, Harrison, kindly. Anguka nayo, Harrison, ukikuja.
Hey! One leg.
Thank you. So, a member of Budgety Hub now, Mokera Nyagaka, kindly come. You're so special to her, so we couldn't forget you.
Hey, hey.
Thank you. And then for our development partners, I'm looking for Joseph Kimani. So, apologies. So, Co-Impact, representative is here. Mary, kindly. Mary, you better anguka nayo.
Anguka.
Thank you. Yeah, so staff of Budgety Hub, I know this is a very special moment for you guys, so kindly, I won't call you by names. 15 of us, we know ourselves. Kindly, just come.
There's somebody not here. Susan, please come.
Let's appreciate that. Yes, move. Hey, wase. Angukeni nayo bana. Hii ni yenu, anguka nayo.
Good. Thank you, Bwana DJ. You know, allow me to say something, just a couple of words. I think you asked earlier, what is the average age of IBP? What was the answer? Anybody remembers? Who can guess the average age of Budgety Hub team? Gen Z, kapsa? Yeah, I think it's 28, 29. It almost moved kwa sababu kuna watu wameingia 30s. But then Sandra and Neema came and they tipped it in the opposite direction. Guys, this is the team that is behind Budgeti Hub. Just for you to know, I am the oldest. Don't calculate my age. I'm still a youth. Yeah, youth in this country ends at 55. So we have Christopher Yator, who is in charge of our finances. We have Susan, who makes sure our working space is amazing. We have Elias, who makes sure all our monies are paid, accounting, everything. We have Ngoka, who is our administrative assistant, just make sure everything else about the organization. We have Justine Wamboy, who heads our operations and finance. We have Irene, to whom most of the things we are experiencing, the Twitter handles, everything that is ready about today, including the website, has been her work as our communications. Then we have the farmer himself. This guy has, I don't know how many acres of tea, and you still come to work. Bwana, get a life. Anyway, Kipkorir Biegon, he heads our research work. Then you have the man himself, John Kenovia. You know, for a minute, when I heard John earlier this week, before they announced the second name, amidst the lost lists, I thought it is John Kenovia, because he's perhaps the best public finance head we have outside government. But he has vowed he will never work in government, unless I am the president. So your position is still intact. Then we have Abraham Ochieng. He heads our advocacy outreach. And everything else that we are unable to figure out, like systems thinking, he's the one who takes care of that. And the Co-Impact team has worked very closely. Then we have Faithan Kinyanjui. Now you know who drives the work. So Faithan is in charge of our capacity development, our budget facilitator training, everything. She took over from Mokeira, and she has surpassed. Then I enter the Gen Z world. Hapa sasa ndio moto imewaka. We have Cuba Houghton, who does many things. First heads our public debt work, but is our research and communications program assistant program officer. When I say Gen Z proper, I don't think anybody past here is above 25. I don't think. I think they are just around there. Then we have Neema Lois, who just came 6 months ago. Yeah, so she just graduated actually 3 weeks ago, I think, yeah. And she's supporting us in our research and our learning work. Then we have Sandra Kirui, who is assisting us with our research and communications work. Please appreciate her. And now that Faithan is taking bigger duties of leading capacity building work and capacity development work, the person working very closely with her is Nancy Ndanu. And I'm the guy under pressure to lead this Gen Z group. These people do amazing work. I was having a conversation not too long ago, and somebody asked me, your team must be very experienced, very old people, in terms of people who are old in the job, they have been doing the job. Make a guess. How many of these people do you think came in having worked somewhere else? Any guess? Make a guess. How many of the whole team? Yes, including me. How many? 3? 4? Okay. Those who had worked somewhere else and didn't come as an intern in Budgeti Hub, please lift up your hand. If you didn't come as an intern, if you didn't, John is debatable because his internship with us was like the fourth one. Without interview. I've thought about that matter a lot. This guy needs an interview. Doesn't even have a CV. Yeah, only 4 people had worked somewhere else. Everybody else has come as an intern and has grown. It's a model we chose to test, and it has proved to be amazing. But the second thing I want to say, we realized that everybody says there are no women in public finance, but nobody is training them. Nobody is giving them a chance. So the budget facilitators, are the 100 of them, about 40, if not 45, yes, actually almost 50 with the current cohort are now women. And as you can see the team here, we are also making effort. So when the next list, the real list is found, we are hoping there will be a woman in that list. And we are hoping that one day we will change the face of Treasury, which is currently men only. And with that, I'm going to ask Grace Maingi to come and hand a gift to each of these colleagues, and then we will be coming to a close.
Nobody better than I. 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 Nobody better rolling. He's going, no darling. 440, 5-star league. He's not, he's plenty. We flexing, everyday balling. More money, more blessings. Digesting, money we flexing. We just don't test me, don't test me. 8.
Now which kind of life where I never see? I carry God so I fear nothing. Steady increase in the commas, comma. Original no be parody. You know fit clear for your memory. Whether now winter or summer, I take Papa just travel now. Living life, see my fire burning bright within the inside me. Smally way they might see. You never know I balance. Story go fine, check and balance. Everything inside my mind daily. Trust me, you can't fool me. Energy don't got.
All right. Wow. Isn't that an amazing team? You love it, senior. One more time, let's appreciate the Budgety Hub team. So I pray, ladies and gentlemen, that we will sing this term, Budgety Hub, so many times tonight, especially to the team, so that on Monday when you go to work, you are not saying IBP. You are saying Budgeting Hub, all right? So we want to bring this to a close. At this point, I want to invite Faith Ann. Faith Ann will do the closing remarks very briefly. And then after that, we will cut the cake, then we will release our online audience as we take photos right here, okay? So Faith, karibu.
Wow. I am overwhelmed with emotions, but I am nonetheless very inspired. I feel like I am ready to take on the next 10 years or so in budget and public finance work. I have heard a lot of things today, from credible and factual, that being said of Budgety Hub. I can now say Budgety Hub. And facts and truths, hope and passion, all those things used to describe what was IBP Kenya then and now Budgety Hub. And I must say, I am very, very inspired. And as I was seated there, I remembered, and Dr. Abraham has alluded to it. So about 5 years ago, I was in an interview. This interview was at IBP Kenya, then, now Bajeti Hub. And I had just come for this interview from Nakuru County. That is my home county. As a fresh graduate from Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology. And I was looking for something to do. So one of those random nights, I was just scrolling through social media and I came across an advertisement. And looking back, I probably would have never applied for that internship program, were it not for the tagline that was used in that advertisement. And the tagline read, "Are you interested in understanding how governments work and how government budgets work?" And I said to myself, of course I am interested in understanding how governments work. I mean, if I don't get to do anything for the next 6 months, I might as well learn how the government works. And so I applied for this internship, and after a very rigorous process, I found myself in this interview. And towards the end of this interview, I was being interviewed by people right now I am pleased to call my colleagues and friends. So there was Mukeira, there was John, there was Justine, and there was Dr. Abraham Rugo. And towards the end, I was asked a very infamous question. Do you have any questions for us? And I had one question. Having dug through the IBP website and just looking through what they were all about to try and understand the kind of work that IBP does, I had one question. And I asked, so I have looked through your website and I have realized you do a lot of research and analysis work and you make a lot of very solid recommendations to government. Does the government ever listen to you? Does the government take up the things that you recommend to them? So I really wanted to find that out, not because I was curious, not because I wanted to know whether I want to spend all my effort there doing all this research and analysis work that is not being taken up by government. And I can still remember when Mr. John Kinudhia's face lit up when I asked that question. And he had just the perfect answer for me. So IBP had just made a technical submission to the Commission on Revenue Allocation. And they had made all these very nice recommendations on how revenue should be allocated among counties, and they had included very nice parameters. And the Commission had actually considered their recommendations in the final formula. And so that is the response that John gave me, that yes, the government does listen to us, and they had taken up actually some of our recommendations. So that was the perfect answer. And I think I was sold from that moment. And looking back, I can ascertain that yes, I have gotten to understand how government budgets work. I am still on that journey. And IBP has ensured that I bring a lot more people with me on that journey because they had me getting into the capacity development side of things, where I have to lead the work that involves training more people. And it's not just me who's getting to do that at IBP, it's all of us. It's kind of like we have an unwritten code on that whatever you do, be it research, whether you're going to the TV stations to present on or to comment on whatever subject, you always have to factor in an element of letting people understand and getting them to understand. And two, I can also ascertain that over the years, many of the things that we have recommended, I could list a whole number of things that have been taken up, have actually been very instrumental in terms of influencing government budgeting decisions and policies. But the work is not yet done, like Dr. Rugo has mentioned. And the spirit of innovation that Jason spoke about in his remarks, from coming up with this budget facilitators training program when no one else was doing that. So Chebet said that one of the things that IBP has been known to do when it was IBP was going where no one else seemed to be willing to go. And that has always been the MO for IBP. And so then the work is really cut out for us. And that spirit of innovation is something that we are carrying on up to this very moment. So if you think about how we are still continuing with the Budget Facilitators Training Program, or how we are exploring how to better champion for inclusive budgets, or how we are trying to understand how to ensure that changes happen at a system level, for instance. So you realize that there's a lot more that needs to be done. And one of the things that we appreciate is that we cannot do it by ourselves. And one of the things that the keynote speaker mentioned is collaboration. That is why you're all in this room. Some are joining us virtually. We would have probably decided to buy cake, cut it in our boardroom, get in some laughs, go out for lunch. We'll probably go out for lunch. I'm not looking at anyone in particular. I hope that's somewhere there. But we did not just do that by ourselves. And that's why you're all in this room, because we recognize there is power in collaboration. And we really, really are grateful for your presence here today, for choosing to forgo whatever it is you do on a Friday evening to be here to celebrate this milestone with us. We really do not take it for granted. And maybe what we did not tell you is that by you being here, you probably informally just renewed your commitment or signed up to continue being with Budgety Hub in the trenches of budget advocacy. So you did sign up your name somewhere there. We will keep note. And whenever we come knocking at your doors, whenever we seek your audience, whenever we seek your input on things, we do hope that you will continue being present, that you will continue showing up, not just for Budgety Hub, but showing up for budget advocacy. And it is really encouraging knowing that we are not in this alone, that there is a whole other group of people out there who care about what happens in this nation and who care about what is generally affecting Kenyans on a day-to-day basis. So from the entire Budgety Hub team, we just want to say thank you. Thank you for being there. Thank you for being here today. And I hope and believe that over the next 10 years, and when we do gather here, again, to celebrate 20 years, that when such questions are posed, either by one of the interns who will be seeking to join IBP, or, sorry, Budgety Hub. Oh my God. I have a long way to go. Budgety Hub. Maybe it will be one of the interns seeking to join Budgety Hub, or one of the interns seeking to join one of the many organizations represented here who care about budget advocacy. And when they do pose the question, is your work really making a difference? That we'll be able to answer, and with very vibrant smiles, full of fulfillment, like one Mr. John Kinodia when I sat in that interview, that yes, indeed, our work is making a difference. So thank you very much, and we look forward to working this journey together with all of you, and we appreciate your partnership, your friendship, and your collaboration. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Faith. At this point, I want to invite Irene Niva, who's going to lead us in the cake cutting session. Are you ready for this cake? Are you ready? Jason, Dr. Jason is ready. Are you guys ready? All right. After the cake, you're free to engage, to mingle, to network. So dinner, let me just explain this. Dinner will be served right here. All right? So feel free as you get to network, even as we have dinner. But immediately after we get to eat the cake, we'll also take a few photos. So just feel free to come on stage and do the photos as well. Irene.
Good evening, everyone. How are you doing? How are you feeling? Budgety Hub. Here we are. It's been a long journey. When I joined IBP, we were still transitioning. That was back in 2022. And I think for me, it's really nice to see it happen in 2024 and to be on the seat where we were also leading some things. My name is Irene, and as Rugo said, I lead our communications work. I come on stage with very stern warnings. how cakes are done traditionally. You have to say imetengenezwa, iko na sukari. But I think we'll choose to take a different style. We'll take a different style because even Bajeti Hub is a modern organization, a young organization, an energetic organization, full of many young people. So I'd like to invite a few people to come on stage to help us cut this cake. And one of those people is our keynote speaker, Grace. So please, DJ, unamwekea ngoma akikuja. Thanks a lot, Grace, for gracing our event. Our executive director, Dr. Arms.
I never forget you, I won't forget you. See my shoulder, make you rest upon me. You know I got you, let me be your friend indeed.
As it has been mentioned, we do the work in collaboration with a lot of people. And part of those people are actually in this room. So I'd actually want to call a volunteer. So if you are a budget facilitator, budget champion, and you'd actually want to join the team to cut the cake, the floor is open. Going once.
How do you do, my friend? I know sometimes you feel like saying nobody's in you. That's what I did for you, my friend. Remy, you always did.
So for the people that joined us on stage, his name is Peter Rono. He is part of IBP. He's a budget facilitator with the Rift Valley Region Hub from Nakuru. His name is Osman. He's currently in the cohort 5 of the training. As you can see, he represents the northeastern counties. And I'll give her to introduce herself.
Wow. Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Oroko Judith from Lake Region Hub.
Thanks a lot for coming. How could I? Shame on me. I lead the Lake Region Budget Hub. But thank you so much for joining us. And you are also joined by Wairu. Wairu is one of our consultants, and she's leading our work with Core Impact. So we're also glad to have you. So this is the team that will help us cut the cake. It's just a symbolic thing, just to represent everyone that is in the room. We have a mega knife. So DJ, we'll need your assistance with songs. Let's clap. Thanks a lot for helping us with that. I'd love to request the team from IBP to come and help in cutting of the cake and sharing with our many guests who've joined us for the launch. I hope everyone will take a big piece because we are a sweet tooth and we hope to share the spirit of being nice with everyone. So the team will be cutting the cake. The team from Bajeti Hub will help in cutting the cake.
gas be the solar. Can't feel love taking over. On a good day, I be loner. See what you make me discover. Kelly, don't change my persona. The revelation is in order. All the pressure I've been under. Why I call you Ngozi? God don't bless me Ngozi. No deserve is I love it. The loving way you show me. Private lounge in Mumbai. With expensive room service. No one make me do like this. Girl, I got you, no worries. No worries. He did do me wow wow. Scatter my internal. Baby on tall. Okay, me kitana. Check all of his my protection in the lala. Every no this all out. Okay, me kitana. He did do me wow wow wow. Scatter my internal. Baby on tall. Okay, me kitana. Check all of his my protection in the lala.
All right. Thank you, DJ. So as the cake goes round, please make sure you have a photo. We have an amazing photographer here, so take a photo, enjoy. In the meantime, dinner is ready, so kindly just step out after eating the cake. You can go serve, then come and sit down and enjoy the meal as you network, all right? I'm also told there is a bar there. Baadaye, jua ikiteremuka, watu waniniwa na? All right, so that's also there. But in the meantime, you can enjoy the dinner, come back. Let's celebrate as the DJ plays for us good music. One more time, let's say Bajeti Hub. Hiyo iko na njaa sana. Let's do a better one. Say Bajeti Hub. Round of applause for Bajeti Hub. Thank you very much for all our online listeners. We appreciate you. Thank you for joining us. We can also release you to go and eat cake at home. God bless you.